You guys might find this interesting about me, but I've actually been a big John Wayne fan my entire life. I grew up, my grandfather wouldn't watch anything but westerns. The dude thought anything that didn't have a western aesthetic was a garbage film. He'd look at it, I don't watch any of that fake stuff. I only know the stuff that feels real. And he was kind of like a cowboy type guy, so it makes sense that that's all he watched. And he loved himself Clint Eastwood and John Wayne so much, even though those two hated each other. Absolutely despised the type of movies each other made. Clint Eastwood like the inner turmoil of a person, and John Wayne was like, I want to shoot bad guys in the face. But we're not here to talk about their movies. No. We're here to talk about the time John Wayne kidnapped a KGB agent. That's right, compadre. Now, I don't know how much of this is real. I'm not the expert in what happened. I didn't live on the schmegma of John Wayne's nutsack. I'm sorry, that wasn't me, compadre. I wasn't that guy. I wasn't there and what are you doing down there? Don't you be removing my schmegel. What are you, some sort of commie? I'm not that guy. But hey, the story goes, the lore on it is, and this needs to be made into a movie. I swear to God, Hollywood, I know you hate John Wayne because he's like a conservative guy that definitely was trying to blacklist people, which isn't cool. I don't like cancellation. Bro was the head of cancel culture back in like the 50s. Anyways, the dude had an assassination attempt put out on him because, you see, over in Russia, Stalin was like, this John Wayne guy's getting a lot of goddamn attention. John Wayne, getting way too much attention. We need to put the John Wayne in place. We need to take John Wayne and shove him down so communists can take over Great America. That was kind of like the Stalin's exact words, probably. I don't know. I don't care. But he decided that he needed to have a foothold in the Hollywood Hills. And he decided the only way he was going to be able to do that is if he killed John Wayne with his KGB assassins. So the FBI brings this to John Wayne's attention. John Wayne looks at him like, I don't need your help, I'll handle it on my own. Which I think is one of the most badass things to say ever. Kind of a little misguided. I'm gonna be real, if the FBI came to my house and said, listen pal, a bunch of KGB agents are wanting you dead, I'd be like, could you park a car outside? Because I might have my own guns and ammunition, but let me tell you, pal, I'm not gonna be blasting my way through a bunch of KGB agents. They will probably kick my ass. They'll shove a bottle of vodka right up my fucking poop chute, and until I'm shooting out Dos Equis, baby. That's tequila. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Well, Belvedere, or like Grey Goose, I guess. Anyways, so they tell him no, and the story kind of gets a little muddled here depending on which iteration you're told. One guy might be like, John Wayne actually went to Russia and stole a KGB agent, slicked him on the penis. That never happened. That wasn't. That's never been an interpretation of the story. I 100% made that up. There is two different deviations though. One deviation is some KGB agents dressed as FBI agents showed up at John Wayne's office, and John Wayne, along with Jimmy Grant, his screenwriter, were like, we're gonna trick these son of a bitches, kidnap him, take him to the beach, put him on his knees, and then pretend to shoot him. That's one iteration. I kind of like that one. I really do, because there's a funny part of my head is, what if this whole thing was like an FBI cover-up, that they were like, they actually went to John Wayne's office, messed with John Wayne after telling them the KGB were going to show up, and John Wayne just happens to kidnap an FBI agent on a misunderstanding. He just doesn't believe him. I don't believe you're FBI. I've never heard of an FBI agent's name with Klofsky. Klofsky sounds Ruski as fuck to me. And just takes the guy and gives him a faux execution on a beach. I think that's hilarious. I don't know. You might be saying like, that sounds a little weird. But the other story is, the FBI was watching, even though he told them to get the hell out of here. They were watching, and John Wayne and Jimmy Grant set up this situation. Both have the same setup, right? They set it up to where when the KGB agents snuck into John Wayne's office, they jump the guy, they kidnap him, they knock him out, they put him in the back of a car, they black bag him, they drag him to an isolated beach, put him on his knees, They have Jimmy Grant on his other, sitting next to him on his knees. They have squibs in Jimmy Grant's, like squibs in the back of Jimmy Grant's mask, and no squibs in the other mask that they pull off of the Russian guy. And what they do is John Wayne pulls out the gun, cocks it, and shoots Jimmy Grant, and it goes blah. And the Russian agent, so this has some cooperation from like a KGB agent wrote a book saying, hey, this kind of did happen. So there's a lot of like push and pull on this story, but there is some corroboration that something like this actually happened. So could you imagine being the Russian guy sent to kill John Wayne? Watch a dude get executed on a beach. He's an actor, bro. This guy's just supposed to play in movies with a fucking white hat, and he just shot a guy in front of you on a beach, and he's dead. He's fucking dead, laying there, bro. He's bleeding out. You gotta call the ambulance because the motherfucker ain't getting up. Anyway, imagine being that Russian guy going back to Russia and being like, listen, guys, don't mess with John Wayne. Guy's pretty freaking scary, bro. You think he's just a funny, you think he's just the cowboy guy from the movies? No, that's him in real life. That's him in real life, pal. I don't want none of that, brother. I ain't gonna mess with no John Wayne. I just think it's so funny. It's like Stalin sitting there, and I always picture like Stalin and like all like Hitler and Mussolini. I don't know why, but it's always like Game of Thrones style. They got like one big chair in a room of just like drone people that they've controlled with their like weird political mindset of evil, and they're just sitting there like, what do you mean? What do you mean, John Wayne, man of man? Oh, no, I'm telling you, pal, he is a bad mamma jamma from Alabama. I'm not gonna fuck with that dude. No, you go back. You go back and take John Wayne to deep, salty grave. It's like, nah, dude, you can take John Wayne to a deep, salty grave. I ain't fucking with that guy. Nothing can kill that man except for cancer. Cancer definitely killed John Wayne. But I don't know. It's kind of funny that they actually did hand the KGB over, a supposed agent over to the FBI after they scared the living shit out of this man. Probably pissed his pants on the beach. And they sent him, they did a little negotiation with Russia and got him back. Something like that. That's how the story goes. It's absolutely wackadoodled. I mean, get out of here, bro. I couldn't see, if you put me in this mindset, like, what if another actor in today's date and time was put in this situation? I couldn't think of anybody. I really couldn't think of anybody. John Wayne accidentally shot his best friend in the ass, and his best friend was like, yeah, it was just a hunting accident. He carried me the whole way to the hospital, so we're fucking cool. Like, John Wayne was like, shit, my bad, we were hunting, accidents happen. They do. But he's like, I'm gonna just throw you on my shoulders and fucking haul your ass to the hospital, and we're gonna save you, and then I'm gonna be your best friend for life and be the pallbearer at your wedding. And then it was like kind of cute. I think he made like a quip about, now I'm the only asshole in my friend group, or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's adorable. I love stuff like this. I don't know historically how accurate or whatever. I love the legends, the drama, the mystique of it all. I think it really, really lands right on the tip of the shaft. I don't know. You gotta love this type of stuff. I know that a lot of people like to be digging into the nitty gritty of all the facts and whatever. I'm a lore guy. I'm like the badass legend guy. Give me that, and then don't ruin my fantasy, because I want to live in this fantasy zone. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed my little chaotic video where I just go schizo in front of a flower posted wall. I feel like I'm really enjoying these. I'm having a ton of fun with these type of videos, and I'm gonna keep them going. I really think I'm gonna keep them going. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you like these? Is this fun? Do you want to hear about more random legends that nobody actually cares about? Because this is a John Wayne video in 2025. Who actually is going to watch this shit? This is gonna get like tens of views. Thank you so much. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.